Welcome to Import Tuner Challenge, a sequel of the Tokyo Extreme Racer series made by Ubisoft and Genki as part of the Genki Racing project, which was later discontinued after the launch of this game. Now, what is this game, you might ask? Well, it's a game about you going out onto the Tokyo expressways in your car, defeating every single racer you can, in the objective to be the fastest racer on the metro. This game is great, but it doesn't live up to the previous games that were launched before this. It's very limited, but the same fun racing factor that every single one of these games had is still there. It's still present. When you first start off the game, you can see that you have a very limited selection of cars in which you can choose from. You might think, hey, maybe down the road, when I defeat certain racers, I'll unlock certain cars and build my dream car, like a Lamborghini or something. No. The cars that were given to you at the beginning of the game is the cars that you'll have at the end of the game, and there's really no other selection. It's very limited in that regard. What makes up for this limited car selection is the customization, which I'll get into in just a little bit. When you get your car, you're going to give it a certain license plate. You can put whatever you want in it, but I don't really like this. I kind of like the old Tokyo license plates. This is Iwasaki, the first racer that comes to you to race. If that license plate doesn't give away who he is, you really need to brush up on your Tokyo Extreme knowledge. When you first start off the game, you're going to race him, and once he's defeated, he'll follow you throughout your quest and really helps you know the Tokyo area and who's racing at this time. When you get your car, you're going to go into the garage and you're going to tune it to the best of your abilities when you first start out. As a newbie, you can imagine there's only limited engine options and limited power upgrades for your car. However, the aerodynamic selection is given to you at full blast in the beginning of the game. So if you want to make your car as racer as it can be, go right ahead. Possibilities are endless. The vinyl graphics I didn't get into because the vinyl graphics are limited themselves as well. It's not like your Midnight Club, it's not like your Need for Speed, it's just very, very limited. It's comparable to Underground 2 at best. However, it's still quite impressive that each of the body kits that you put on your vehicle is actually made by aftermarket companies. It's not like Forza, which you get a Forza body kit and a Forza spoiler. It's actually made by aftermarket companies. You can change the color of your car to whatever the heck you want. You can make it pink, purple, blah blah blah. You can change the racing seats that's in the vehicle. You could even go as far as to put what kind of gauges are in your car. You can have a boost gauge, oil pressure, oil temperature, and water temperature. As I said before, the possibilities are endless. You want to make your camber as racer-ish as the Stance Nation guys? Go right ahead. The choice is yours. You want to lower your car to the point where it scrapes against every single pebble on the road? Please, go right ahead. You want to change the gear ratio to make your car faster on the top end? Go right ahead. The choices are yours. You want to build a drift missile? You can do that too. Or you can even head to the test track and build your car for speed and grip. It's really impressive what the developers did when it comes to the depth of customization for this game. It could have been better, but it's still there. It's still given to you. For example, when you pick a new engine, it shows you every single change that's in the engine and what was made to it. You can change what kind of muffler you want. You want a double tip, you want a single tip, you want a 3-inch, go nuts. So it's just really impressive what the customization options you have in this game. It's absolutely impressive. It's a definite upgrade from the last few games. Now, when you first start racing, you have 3 times in which to choose from: night, midnight, and daybreak, and each of the times gives you a certain amount of racers. When you come up to a racer, you flash your high beams and you're on your way. When you first start this game, however, you'll notice that the music is pretty terrible. And in order to really enjoy this game, hop up on your MP3 player that's plugged into your Xbox and blast whatever music you want. That way it just makes the playing experience a little bit more enjoyable. Now with the opposition, there is not just one racer or a couple of racers, there's hundreds of racers. Each one of them part of a certain gang. One gang can race in only Toyota AE86s. The other gang only race in black colored cars. Each gang and gang member has their own personality. And the bosses do as well. Some of them get pissed off easy. Some of them like to drift. Some of them like to grip. You can look up all their personalities and what they're all about in the rival list as soon as you defeat them. It gives you each description of each rival you beat. Once you beat gang members from a certain gang, you come up against a gang leader. These leaders are what they are. They're leaders. However, when I raced them, I really didn't see any competition, and that's the problem that this game has. The competition, there is none, and it's really easy to beat a boss or a leader or whoever just looks like they pose a threat. And even though this game tries to scare you into thinking that leaders pose a threat, they really don't. If you're a really good driver, you're guaranteed to beat them. There's a lot of bosses in this game. I go by layers, and there's 3 layers of bosses in this game. There's the first C1 bosses, which are Bloodhound, Midnight Cinderella, and Platinum Prince, but it doesn't stop there. There are plenty of other bosses that are going to show up later on in the game, and it is your mission to beat every single one of them in order to become the fastest racer on the Metro Expressway. Now when you come up against these bosses, they sometimes have a speed point battle or a time attack battle, which is 2 different types of battle modes that you'll run into in every single racer. The bosses in specific, they will show up with a very dramatic entrance, which puts you on your toes before a race, and off you go. Time attack battles is when you race from one point to the next. Speed point battles are who can get furthest away. The further you are away, the faster the life bar goes down, and the faster you win the race. I particularly like speed point battles because time attack battles sometimes take way too long. When you beat bosses, a custom car is available to you. Certain bosses driving custom cars, and as soon as you beat them, you'll be able to buy their custom car. Goes from a Mitsubishi rally car to the S30Z, which you run into at the very end of the game. Or you can even buy Snake Eyes' Black Supra, or King Speed's Blue WRX. Now, when you race, you can go to the pit areas, or you can go out on the highway and challenge racers. The choice is yours. However, you will find out that you will come across certain racers which need certain requirements in order for them to race you. These racers are called wanderers, and these wanderers, they're very picky in what they want in your car in order for them to race you. Some of them require a certain muffler or certain exhaust system in your car. Some of them require you to put underglow neon in your car. Or some of them want you to scrape as much as you can with the lowest car possible. Now, in order to get this information, you need to go to the pit area and click on every single person who talks about the game, essentially. And only 1 out of those 12 people will generally talk about a wanderer, which is quite frustrating. Just do what I did. Go on Google, search up a wanderer's FAQ on the internet, and you'll find all the requirements you need for all the wanderers in this game in order for you to finally beat it. Now this comes with another thing that I want to say about this game. Yes, it's great to cruise in cockpit view and, you know, making your car pop with the anti-lag and seeing that turbo needle go up and down. It's great, don't get me wrong. However, there are many things in this game that could have been improved. For example, the amount of rival selection is great and it's huge. However, when you do reach 100% completion, there's nothing else to do other than customize cars and drive around. There's really no other option in the quest mode after you beat it. They do give you the option to start the game over with a saved garage, so you can still keep your cars starting a new quest mode. But that's pointless considering there is no grind anymore, and you basically beat everyone with a super fast car, which, you know, kind of brings the fun out of the game. There's also the Xbox Live feature, which also is pointless because no one plays this game with the thought of going multiplayer headfirst. No, the multiplayer options in this game is terrible as well. Another thing that's awful is the track selection. Yes, there are 3 times of day. Yes, the maps look awesome. Yes, the graphics are somewhat good for the time this game came out. It's still missing the classic Tokyo Extreme Racer feel to it. There is no Yokohane. There is no Wangan. Yokohane really tested how you do with traffic at high speeds. Wangan was the test track in order for you to test your car and see how fast it can really go. If it can go past 200 miles an hour or 240 miles an hour. And along with that came more challenging rivals. The game is great, don't get me wrong. The game totally blew me away as soon as I started playing it, but if you want to compare it to the other games, this definitely falls at last place. Tokyo Extreme Racer totally trumps this game in the amount of variety it has. However, this game trumps Tokyo Extreme Racer in terms of the customization options you have, which is what kept me hooked. And this game keeps you hooked as well. I don't know what it is about it, but every time you turn on the Xbox and you play this game, it's surprisingly addicting. It's an arcade racer, and if you're into that kind of thing, then you're gonna like this game. If you're a true Tokyo Extreme Racer enthusiast, however, you might think that this game had a lot of potential and it just didn't live up to it. This game has its own traffic flaws.
Bruh.
And you can see that in Time Attack, it's a mode that they have, but who are you going to show off your best times to? There's really no other person to show it off to except uploading your time on YouTube, which that in itself is kind of pointless. This game is slightly glitchy, and besides all the glitches, as I said before, this game is perfect. It's great. This game is very impressive, and if Genki or Ubisoft plan on doing another sequel, at least put on more achievements and make them harder to get. Achievements basically are given to you after you defeat a certain boss. And doing time attacks, which nobody does, and Xbox Live races, which nobody does either. There's no Xbox Live community in this game. So what's the verdict? This game is freaking amazing. The racing is freaking awesome. You have plenty of rivals to beat. There's plenty of hours that you can put into this game. The customization is awesome, but there's no multiplayer. There's limited amount of track selection, and the AI are just way too easy to beat. And there's no replay value. That's my verdict. Thanks a lot for watching this review on Importuner Challenge. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.